Today on SLEDHEAD 24/7, another season is here, and no better way to kick it off than at Haydays, a one-of-a-kind celebration full of die-hard, old-school snowmobilers. Tech expert Jeff Fischer rolls back the cover on the new Polaris race sled and also checks in at Arctic and Skidoo and checks out the latest news and information. Later, Watercross world champs, the father and son duo of Jeff and David Fischer, put on a racing seminar, Watercross World Championships. All that and more, right here, right now, on SLEDHEAD 24/7.
Holy smolies, man. Doesn't get much better than that, does it?
Welcome to a brand new season of SLEDHEAD 24/7. I'm your host, Chelsea Scorch, and joining me is my partner in crime, Jeff Fischer.
Yeah, Chelsea, I'm excited for this season. I know you're excited. We're going to ride, rate, and review all the greatest products there are in the snowmobile industry.
There's a lot to look forward to, so check it out.
When the first flakes fall, you want to be ready. We'll share the latest tips and tricks on how to get your sled to be the baddest snowmobile on snow. Ready to race? Exclusive coverage from snowcross, cross country, and the biggest hill climb racing in the world. Looking for a great riding destination? We load up our Ram truck and steer you to the world's greatest places to ride. Thinking about buying a new sled? Check out the latest news from our dedicated staff of test riders. Ride, rate, and review. It's what they do. Simply put, if it happens on the snow, you'll find it first on SLEDHEAD 24/7.
There's certainly a lot to look forward to this season, but let's start out at the unofficial start of winter, and that, my friend Jeff, is Haydays.
Yeah, Haydays, it was busy out there. I mean, we were running around. There was so much stuff to see. We were over at, you know what? Check it out. Here we are again, 2018 Haydays, the official start of winter. This is the place where you can come and get your hands on every new product imaginable for the snowmobile industry. And this season isn't going to disappoint. Here at SLEDHEAD 24/7, we're going to ride, rate, review all the latest and greatest products and snowmobiles out there to man.
I'm having a blast. I'm at Haydays we were just figuring this out. I've been here since 1990. So over there they said, how many people over 25 years? And I was like, didn't raise my hand, because I was thinking it was like 2000. I was thinking, oh, I've only been here 18. I've been here 28. Is that right? 28? Is that dating me?
I wasn't even born I wasn't alive yet in 1990, so.
Look how I just aged well. I'm like a fine wine, obviously.
Big day for Polaris. A lot of new product we're introducing. One of the biggest ones that I'm proud to introduce is the new model year 2019 race sled. So a lot of major changes this year, and we're looking forward to another great year. So the biggest difference to our model year 19 600R race sled is the 136 rear suspension. It's called the RX2. And the 2 comes from, it's got 2 inches of additional travel at the rear torque arm, and so it's even more at the rear axle. And we've played around with 136s in the past with the mod class, so we knew the positives and negatives of going to a 136. The good thing with this rear suspension is we designed it specifically to be a 136, and we eliminated the negatives and only got the positives out of a 136. So you get better hole shot, better acceleration out of the corners, better braking performance. Hard to believe, but it does corner significantly better than our old 128 rear suspension. So a cool feature is the louvers that we put into the tunnel. So these louvers expose the heat exchangers. And what we do on the starting line is the mechanic can grab a handful of snow, rake it across these louvers, It'll pack snow in directly on top of the heat exchanger so that we can maintain a cooler water temperature when on the starting line. And then it does also add some additional cooling when on the racetrack. It catches some wind, it catches some roost from the riders in front, and also helps keep the sled cool during the finals.
You know, as we're walking around Haydays, we're always looking for some new innovative product. Here's the new Peeps booth. Let's go see what they have to offer.
So this is the new Outbreak system. We partnered with a Swiss company called Outbreak to produce another electrical airbag system for Peeps. We're partnering with Polaris on that. This system's really cool in that it's a capacitor-based system instead of a battery. And so there's 2 AA batteries inside. Those AA batteries charge up these big capacitors. So you put the batteries in, it takes about half an hour to an hour, charges the capacitors, and then you're ready to go. Those big capacitors can dump all that energy in about 3 seconds and inflate the airbag. It's a really simple system, has a cable-based deployment. Status indicator lights are on the side, so you can see those through the side of the pack. It's a little cheaper than other battery bags out there. It's a little lighter. This is about 5.8 pounds, I think. A 20-liter pack, basic avalanche gear pocket for your shovel and probe, and then a really large cargo compartment, 20 liters of just cargo space, so plenty of room for everything you need. This year Peeps is partnering with Polaris, so you can go to polaris.com, snow safety, and learn about all the Peeps products too.
You know, new for 2019 in the timber sled is they have a 129 LE. What this is, they're going with the 129 track. So now we got the flotation of a 137, but the agility of a 120. Kind of bridge the gap a little bit. You know, a lot of times I try to decide, do I ride my 120 or my 137? I don't have to ask myself that anymore. I can just ride my 129.
It's a machine that's going to be in between that 137 timber sled we offer in our quiver and then also the 120. This machine has 2 less paddles than the 137 and 2 more than the 120. Light, nimble, you're going to have that ability that the 120 has, but you're going to have the flotation of the 137. It's going to take in that backcountry where we want to go.
Yeah, these things are great. You know, it's a good mix for dirt bikers to switch over and ride mountains and get full year use of their sled or their bike 12 months of the year, and they're super easy to ride. Pretty much, I've gotten people on these things that have rode street bike maybe 5 times. And I've been able to put them on a snow bike and they've been able to excel super fast, and learning curve is super easy.
This 129, it's going to be the ticket.
When SLEDHEAD 24/7 returns, Skidoo reveals their new race sled with features gained from years of testing on the snowcross circuit. From the showroom floor to the tabletop, you'll be ready. Arctic Cat has some big news about their snowcross sled this year. An exclusive walk-around on what's new. Later, we skip across the water and head to the World Championships. Stay tuned. SLEDHEAD 24/7 is brought to you by Amsoil, runs on freedom, by Polaris, by Arctic Cat, Skidoo, that Skidoo feeling, by FXR, extreme adaptability for all conditions, and powered by Ram Trucks, built to serve.
I'm Larry Tyser, and you're watching SLEDHEAD 24/7.
Hey, you don't have to film me everywhere I go. Let's go check out the 2019 Arctic Cats here at Haydays. Now, we already have seen the Alpha 1. We already seen the IAX suspension. Now let's go check out the new race sleds they're going to uncover.
Right now, never before seen in public, the 2019 race sleds. Let's give the company a round of applause.
We are at Haydays 2018. Today at 1 o'clock, we just unveiled our 2 new race sleds for 2018. And I'm standing next to the ZR 6000R SX snowcross sled with the cross-country sled in the background, and give you guys a little bit of information on what's new for this year. Just a dominating last year. You know, we pretty much revamped the whole snowcross sled last year with the longer track, a new engine, chassis changes, multiple things. And we went to the track with hopes to dominate, and we did. You know, we talked about it today. Taking 18 of 22 snowcross titles is something that has never been done before. So hats off to all the teams that supported that, that effort. So stepping into this year, Arctic Cat, we don't want to sit still. We're continually trying to improve. So we got two big changes again on this year's sled. One, we went to the ARS 2-front suspension. So this is a kind of a spin-off from what we did last year. It's similar geometry, but we've tooled up a completely new spindle, forged aluminum spindle, new upper A-arm that's stronger, been reinforced along with the bulkhead to try to hold the front end more rigid as it's going through the holes. And underneath the hood, it's a completely new top end on the engine package. So it's based off of our consumer 600 DSI engine, but it's specific porting, cylinder head design, all the spec and the mapping is all around the race snowcross spec fuel. So big improvement on the engine is just the immediate low end throttle response, which should improve our hole shots. And the power curve throughout is on top of or just a little bit better than where we were last year. From front to back, there's multiple chassis improvements for improved durability and just strength in general. I'm looking forward to getting to Duluth and hopefully picking up where we left off last year.
I'm walking through the Arctic Cat booth and I run into our latest legend of the sport, Tucker Hibbert. Tucker, how you doing, buddy?
See ya, yeah.
Now, is this your final tour, or is this your final farewell tour, or what are you thinking of this one?
I don't know what it is, yeah. I don't really know, I guess. Just hanging out at Haydays like normal, signing some posters and seeing all the cool people out here. Yeah, that's all I know.
Yep. Still a big icon in the sport. He's still out here, being he's not going to race this year, but he still stays involved. Another new thing they did unveil is the new Alpha 1 in the 600. This is going to fit a whole nother style of riders, the smaller rider, maybe the female rider that wants just a nice smooth power band but still wants the agileness of the Alpha 1.
Skidoo knows you can acquire plenty from Tim Tremblay and Lincoln Lemieux and the whole Skidoo racing team on the snowcross track. When SLEDHEAD 24/7 returns, the latest news on the Skidoo's new race sled that'll impress all sled heads. We later find out what it takes to be world champ on the water. But first, let's check in with Dennis Kirk.
Hey folks, got some great news for you. Dennis Kirk and SLEDHEAD 24/7 are putting together a contest. A contest, you ask? It's a sled build contest. We want to see your sled. We have different categories, a vintage, a custom, you name it. If you got a sled that you have some pride in something you did, post it. The minute you post it, you're going to get sent a free hat and then chances to win some really cool prizes from Dennis Kirk. Now, I don't care what you got. It could be a custom mountain sled, ice sled, you name it. Or even a bomber, you might get a sympathy vote out of it. Put in and your chance to win. And after all the posting's done, our crack staff is going to sit down and just go through every last entry. And you might be the winner. For more information, go to sledbuild.com. Pretty self-explanatory. Get on there and enter.
I'm Chelsea Scorch, and you're watching SLEDHEAD 24/7.
We're out here in Haydays. We have such a busy schedule. I have a really hard time getting all my personal grooming in. The folks at Skidoo are helping us out. Haircuts here at Haydays. A little off the top. One really cool thing out here at Haydays is we get to see the brand new release of the OEM's race sleds. And right now I got a chance to go see Skidoo's new race sled. Let's go check it out.
One of the things we unveiled this morning was our 2019 Mxc Race Line. Completely re-engineered this year. It's lighter, stronger, a little bit more traction because we've gone to a 137-inch track. So really kind of rethought everything about the race sled to go after that first place podium. Moving to the spindle here, we've gone to a longer spindle
We've eliminated the spacer up top here, so it's a completely new spindle, and it is longer than last year's assembly by a significant amount. We've moved the A-arm up a little bit, flattened it out, so we've changed the roll center of the snowmobile. It's a little easier to turn, also staying stable at high speeds. It was the real objective of the front end changes we made here. So when we talk about re-engineered, the front end of the vehicle's got all new geometry. KYB Kashima coated shocks. Kashima coating gives you a harder surface, so you get better wear resistance, more consistent performance because it's a little more slippery, and it lasts a lot longer for the racer, so you don't need to change oil as often, and you'll find that it stays consistent throughout a race also. We've gone to 137-inch track, so obviously we've got a longer skid frame in it also. But what's really nice about this one is there is nothing shared with anything we've previously produced. The guys in the race shop worked really hard on giving us some new motion ratios for both the front arm and the rear arm. They're lightweight pieces, and we were using 46mm KYB Pro Piggyback shocks here. Really, really high capacity shocks. These are the kind of shocks that even 2 years ago you wouldn't see anything on but a factory sled. You know, the top riders, because they're a very expensive piece. The rear shock this year has compression adjustment, both high and low speed, but we've added rebound damping to it. So in addition to being 46mm Kashima coated, we've also added the rebound damping. So with this sled, you see the changes we made to get a better hole shot, deliver more mid-range power, and we didn't even really talk about the shock calibrations, but all the shocks have been recalibrated for better high-speed bump stability and better cornering at high speeds. All those things added up, we're really looking for good things out of this snowmobile, and I think it's going to deliver for us.
Tell me what you're riding. 2020 model, Huffy, long travel.
Stuff you see at Haydays. Now Skidoo put out a swap meet challenge to some of their athletes, and you should see the stuff they came up with. They had $100 in 2 hours. I think Carl came out on top here. $100 for this bad boy. I'm about ready to offer him $200.
For more to get it started than it did to actually find it.
True swap meet find. When you go in and you got to repair your find.
Have you ever seen snowmobiles race on water? When we return, a road trip to head to Grantsburg, Wisconsin. The World Championships of Snowmobile Watercross, year-round riding. And our host is the world champ. SLEDHEAD 24/7 is brought to you by AmSoil, runs on freedom. Rocks, your rider position specialists. Traxxas, the fastest name in radio control. By Stud Boy, traction with an attitude. Ziegler Cat, exceptional service backing the best equipment. And by U.S. Air Force, aim high.
Welcome back to SLEDHEAD 24/7, your show for everything snow. Well, usually, right, Jeff Fischer?
Well, yeah, I bet you're talking about snowmobile watercross. Well, that's how I choose to ride and get my throttle therapy all summer long. Check it out. World Championship Watercross at Grantsburg, Wisconsin. This is on its 43rd year, so it's been around a little while. I started coming to watch back in the late 80s, and once I watched, I thought, I gotta be a part of that.
So when Grantsburg comes around every year, you know, it's definitely kind of get butterflies, you know? You always think about it's the World Championship. You want to do your best.
Between just getting to compete against people, racing is fun, but then everybody is, it's a pretty tight-knit race group where everybody helps each other out, and if you're struggling, then somebody will help you and make sure you don't get too frustrated or anything, and it just keeps it fun.
But as an older rider, you have some knowledge. You know how to make the sled work, you know how to ride. You don't rush it, you be patient, make your passes when you need to, because one mishap and you're on the bottom. You don't win when you're on the bottom.
The difference in tracks in watercross are there's some that are bigger lakes where the water is a little bit deeper, or there's Grantsburg. I like how it's a tighter circle, but it has a really long hole shot, so it's a little mixture of everything.
Snowmobiling is my passion, so being able to ride all the time, and especially in the summer, it's pretty nice. You be standing around in your swimsuit and flip-flops, put your gear on, hit the water.
I go snowmobiling year-round. As soon as the ponds and the lakes thaw out and get warm enough, I get my throttle therapy on my watercrosser. You know, it's the only time you're going to go to a snowmobile race that you have to bring bug spray and suntan lotion. Come to one of our events, get a hold of some of the people. It's a great group of people. Everybody's so helpful. They'll tell you, come to their test ponds and learn to ride. Go somewhere where there's a retriever and a safety staff, so when you go in, it's not a big deal. To go do it out in the middle of the winter in the lake, it ain't so good. You aren't gonna like the hypothermia.
Who would have known all these years, and I'm rubbing shoulders with the world champ. Well, that's all the time we have for this episode of SLEDHEAD 24/7. Make sure you tune in all season long. I'm your host, Chelsea Skorich.
And I'm Jeff Fischer, where we ride, rate, and review, because that's what we do.
And we will see you on the trail.
Stay in touch with us or send us a story idea. We're always live on SLEDHEAD247.com. Or make sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Next week on SLEDHEAD 24/7, Jeff Fischer and the team take a deep look into one of the biggest innovations of the year, the Arctic Cat Alpha 1. They take it into the steep and deep in the backcountry where they ride, rate, and review. Ram Truck is the official choice for the team at SLEDHEAD 24/7. So this year, it's time to grab our laptops and start building our Ram Truck for the season. Find out how easy Ram has made it to pull together your own custom-built Ram truck. Catch your SLEDHEADs next week on SLEDHEAD 24/7.